The Awakening Protocol DR. Elena Rodriguez had spent 15 years listening to the cosmos, and most nights the universe whispered nothing but static. The Deep Space Observatory in Chile sat perched on a mountain peak, its massive radio telescope, turning slowly like a giant ear pressed against the darkness. Elena preferred the night shift because space was quieter then, without the interference from human radio signals that cluttered the daytime hours. But tonight was different. Tonight, space was screaming. A signal came through at 3:47 a.m. local. Time, a structured burst of data that made Elena's coffee mug freeze halfway to her lips. The pattern was too clean, too organized to be natural. She had heard pulsars and quasars, had listened to the death songs of distant stars, but this was something else entirely. This was artificial. "Computer, record everything," Elena whispered, her fingers flying across the keyboard. The signal was coming from the direction of Wolf 359, a red dwarf star system about 7.9 light-years away. Not particularly close in cosmic terms, but practically next door compared to most of the signals they detected. Elena called. Commander Marcus Chun at Peterson Space Force Base. Marcus was the military's liaison for anything space-related that might threaten Earth, a job that had seemed mostly theoretical until tonight. He answered on the second ring despite the early hour. "Chun here. This better be important, Elena." "Marcus, I need you to get down here immediately. And bring Zara." "Hassan from the Quantum Lab. We have a situation." "What kind of situation?" Elena looked at the data streaming across her screens, patterns within patterns that her brain was already starting to decode. The kind that changes everything. 2 hours later, the observatory was buzzing with activity. Commander Chun had arrived, with a small team of specialists, including Dr. Zara Hassan, whose work with quantum computing had made her the go-to expert for analyzing complex data patterns. Zara was young, brilliant, and had the rare ability to see connections that others missed. "Show me what you found," Zara said, settling in front of Elena's main workstation. Elena replayed the signal. The sound filled the control room with rhythmic pulses that seemed almost musical. "It's not random noise. Listen to the mathematical structure. It's based on prime number sequences, but there's something more complex underneath." Zara studied the waveforms, her dark eyes reflecting the glow of the monitors. "This isn't just a signal. It's a data package. Compressed, encrypted, but definitely artificial." She paused, her fingers dancing over her tablet. "Elena, this is huge. We're looking at first contact." But as they worked to decode the signal over the next several hours, excitement turned to concern, then to outright fear. The data package wasn't a greeting from friendly aliens. It was something far more sinister. Tommy Mitchell arrived at dawn. At 16, he was already one of the world's most skilled cryptographers, a digital prodigy who saw patterns in code the way others saw faces in clouds. Elena had called him because traditional decryption wasn't working. They needed someone who thought differently. "You adults are overthinking this," Tommy said, settling in front of the computers with the confidence that only teenagers possessed. "Stop trying to apply human logic to alien math. Let me try something." What Tommy discovered made everyone in the room go silent. The signal contained detailed maps of Earth's surface, marking major cities, military installations, and population centers. It included biological profiles of human beings, complete with weaknesses and behavioral patterns. Most disturbing of all, it contained Earth's complete technological profile, cataloging every major advancement from the wheel to nuclear weapons. "This isn't first contact," Commander Chun said, his voice grim. "This is reconnaissance. They've been watching us, studying us." The signal wasn't coming from Wolf 359. That had been a relay point. The true source was much farther away, from a region of space so distant that the light reaching them was millions of years old. But the signal was recent, which meant the aliens had technology that could transmit faster than light. "Look at this section," Zara said, highlighting a portion of the decoded data. "It's an evaluation report. They're rating Earth's defensive capabilities, resource value, and," she paused, her face pale, "ease of conquest." The evaluation was damning. According to the alien analysis, humans were primitive, disorganized, and incapable of unified resistance. Earth was classified as a Class C harvesting opportunity with minimal defensive concerns. The report recommended proceeding with standard extraction protocols. Within the next solar cycle. Captain Sarah Brooks arrived that afternoon with a team of military analysts. Sarah was one of the military's best strategic minds, someone who could look at any situation and find the weakness that others missed. She studied the alien data with the cold precision of a chess master, analyzing an opponent's moves. "They're coming," she said simply. "This signal is their final assessment before invasion. Based on this data structure, I'd estimate we have maybe 6 months before they arrive." Elena felt the weight of the discovery settling on her shoulders. "We need to contact the United Nations, NATO, everyone. The world needs to know." But as they prepared to alert world governments, something unexpected began happening. People living near radio telescope facilities started reporting strange experiences. Enhanced memory, improved problem-solving abilities, and most remarkably, an intuitive understanding of complex scientific concepts. Dr. Hassan was the first to make the connection. The signal isn't just carrying data. It's interactive. The scanning process they use to analyze our brains is actually changing them. Elena felt a strange tingling in her own mind, as if doors were opening that had been locked her entire life. Changing them how? "I think their scanning technology is designed to map neural patterns, but it's having an unintended side effect. It's activating dormant genetic sequences, evolutionary potential that's been sleeping in human DNA for thousands of years." The implications were staggering. The aliens had spent years studying humanity, cataloging human weaknesses and preparing for easy conquest. But their own scanning technology was accidentally creating the very thing they feared most: evolved humans with capabilities beyond their calculations. Tommy was the first to demonstrate the changes. Within days of exposure to the signal's residual effects, his already impressive hacking skills had evolved into something that seemed almost supernatural. He could understand and manipulate any computer system by simply looking at it, as if the code was speaking directly to his enhanced mind. "It's like I can see the logic patterns," Tommy explained to the assembled team. "Not just in computers, but in everything. Traffic flows, weather systems, even human behavior. It all follows patterns, and now I can see them all." Elena discovered her own abilities were changing too. Her understanding of astrophysics had deepened to the point where she could calculate complex orbital mechanics in her head. She could look at stellar data and instantly understand the life cycle of entire solar systems. Captain Brooks found that her strategic thinking had reached new levels. She could analyze military scenarios with perfect clarity, seeing dozens of potential outcomes and their probabilities simultaneously. More importantly, she could coordinate with the other enhanced humans telepathically, their minds forming a network that allowed for instant communication and planning. The alien signal continued broadcasting, unaware that its intended victims were transforming into something unprecedented. Enhanced humans began finding each other, drawn together by an instinct they couldn't fully explain. They formed research groups, sharing discoveries and developing technologies that should have been impossible. Dr. Alex Turner, a former NASA engineer whose abilities had been enhanced by the signal, built a device in his garage that could detect alien technology from across the solar system. Maya Patel, an enhanced linguist, developed translation algorithms that could decode any alien communication instantly. Around the world, Similar breakthroughs were happening as enhanced humans pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Commander Chun coordinated the military response, but he realized they were dealing with something beyond traditional warfare. "We're not just preparing to defend Earth," he told Elena during one of their strategy sessions. "We're preparing to announce humanity's arrival as a galactic power." The enhanced humans shared dreams now, vivid visions of vast ships moving through the darkness between stars. In these dreams, they saw through alien eyes, watched as invasion fleets prepared for what they believed would be an easy conquest. The aliens had images of primitive humans with simple weapons and divided governments. They had no idea that their intended victims had evolved into something that burned with the determination to protect their world. 6 months after Elana first detected the signal, the enhanced humans had grown from a few dozen to thousands worldwide. They had developed technologies that seemed like magic, created networks of communication that spanned the globe instantly, and most importantly, they had unified in a way that the aliens' analysis said was impossible for humans. The fire that burned in their enhanced minds was spreading, and soon it would consume anyone who threatened their home. The aliens had sent their signal to confirm that Earth was ready for harvest. They had no idea that their harvest was about to burn them alive. Asterisk. Fire and determination. 6 months after the first signal, Admiral James Morrison stood in the command center of Earth's first orbital defense platform, watching the alien fleet emerge from hyperspace. The massive ships materialized like dark thunderclouds against the star field, their hulls gleaming with an organic sheen that suggested they were as much grown as built. There were 12 of them, each one larger than any structure humanity had ever created. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel," reported Lieutenant Commander Sarah Kim from the communications station. "Put it through," Morrison ordered, his voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. The message filled the command center with an artificial voice that tried to sound human but failed completely. It was cold, emotionless, like a computer reading from a script. "Inhabitants of the third planet, you have been selected for integration into our collective. Your species will be preserved as a labor force. Resistance will result in total elimination. You have 12 hours to surrender your military forces and prepare for occupation. This is your only warning." Morrison felt a grim smile cross his face. "Send them our response." The reply that went out to the alien fleet was not what they expected. Instead of surrender or desperate pleas for mercy, they received a simple message: "Come and take it." The aliens had studied humanity extensively, but their data was 6 months old. They expected to face a divided species with primitive weapons and no unified command structure. What they found instead was something that defied their understanding of evolution and warfare. Dr. Alex Turner, whose enhanced abilities had made him Earth's leading expert on alien technology, had spent the past 6 months reverse engineering the scanning signals. He had built weapons that could disrupt alien electronics, shields that could deflect their energy weapons, and most remarkably, ships that could match their speed and maneuverability. "The beauty of it," Alex explained to Admiral Morrison during the final briefing, "is that they gave us the blueprints for our own enhancement. Every time they scanned us, they left traces of their technology in the signal. We just had to figure out how to use it." Maya Patel, whose enhanced strategic thinking had made her the coordinator of Earth's defense network, had spent months analyzing alien behavior patterns from their reconnaissance data. She understood how they thought, how they fought, and most importantly, how they could be defeated. "They're a collective species," Maya explained to the assembled defense commanders. "They think in terms of overwhelming force and absorption. They've never faced a species that fights with individual initiative and unpredictable tactics. That's our advantage." The first battle began in the space between Earth and the Moon. The aliens launched what they expected to be a crushing assault. sending wave after wave of fighter craft toward Earth's defenses. What they encountered instead was a coordinated defense that seemed to anticipate their every move. Tommy Mitchell, now leading a team of enhanced hackers, had infiltrated the alien communication networks within minutes of the first attack. "I can see their command structure," he reported to Morrison. "They're not just coordinating through radio. They're using some kind of quantum entanglement communication. Give me 5 minutes, and I can turn their own network against them." Captain Sarah Brooks commanded the first wave of human fighters, ships that had been built using hybrid human-alien technology. As she engaged the alien craft, she felt the minds of her pilots linked with hers, their thoughts and intentions flowing together in perfect coordination. "This is Alpha Leader to all units," Sarah broadcast to her squadron. "Remember, they expect you to fight like the humans they studied. Let's show them what we've become." The space battle that followed was unlike anything in human history. Human fighters moved with impossible precision, their pilots thinking and reacting faster than any normal human could. They used tactics that seemed to border on telepathy, coordinating attacks that required split-second timing across vast distances. The aliens found themselves facing opponents who could predict their moves, who seemed to know their weaknesses before they revealed them. Fighter after fighter fell to human weapons that shouldn't have existed, piloted by humans who shouldn't have been capable of such precision. "Report," demanded the alien commander, his artificial voice carrying notes of something that might have been confusion. "Our fighters are being eliminated systematically," came the reply. "The humans are using technology that was not in our assessment. Their capabilities exceed our projections by several orders of magnitude." The alien commander studied the tactical display with growing alarm. The humans weren't just defending themselves. They were winning. On Earth's surface, the enhanced humans had prepared for the possibility of a ground invasion. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, whose astronomical abilities had grown to encompass real-time space combat analysis, coordinated the planet's defenses from the Deep Space Observatory. "They're going to try to land troops in major population centers," Elena announced to the Global Defense Network. "They want to capture humans for their labor force. We need to make sure they understand that every human they try to capture will cost them dearly." The alien ground forces that descended toward Earth's major cities encountered resistance that defied their understanding of human capabilities. Enhanced humans fought with weapons that seemed to materialize from thin air, coordinated with perfect precision, and demonstrated abilities that their reconnaissance had said were impossible. In New York, ENHANCED humans led by former construction worker Mike Rodriguez had turned the city's infrastructure into a weapon. Streets became mazes that trapped alien forces. Buildings became fortress positions that could be defended indefinitely, and the subway system became a network of tunnels that allowed human forces to appear anywhere at any time. In London, enhanced humans commanded by former teacher Janet Williams had organized the civilian population into a resistance network, so effective that alien forces found themselves facing coordinated opposition from every building, every street corner, every shadow. Aliens began to realize that their intelligence had been fundamentally flawed. These weren't the same humans they had studied. These were something new, something that had evolved beyond their calculations. "Commander, we are receiving reports from all ground forces," the alien tactical officer reported. "Human resistance is far stronger than projected. They appear to be using technologies that were not present in our initial scans." The alien commander studied the reports with growing confusion. According to their data, humans were supposed to be individually weak, easily frightened, and incapable of sustained coordination. Instead, they were facing opponents who fought with the coordination of a hive mind, but the creativity of individual warriors. "Initiate full-scale bombardment," the commander ordered. If we cannot capture them, we will eliminate them and harvest the planet's resources without them. But even this strategy failed. The enhanced humans had anticipated orbital bombardment. Alex Turner's weapons could shoot down incoming projectiles with precision that seemed impossible. Maya Patel's defensive networks could coordinate shield generators across entire continents. Tommy Mitchell's hacking abilities could disrupt alien targeting systems before they could lock onto their targets. For the first time in their species history, the aliens found themselves losing a battle they had expected to win easily. Admiral Morrison watched the tide of battle turn from his command center. All units, this is Admiral Morrison. The aliens are retreating to their ships. Do not let them escape to report our capabilities to their home fleet. What followed was a counterattack that would be remembered as humanity's announcement to the galaxy. Enhanced human pilots pursued the retreating aliens, not just to Earth's orbit, but beyond. They followed the alien fleet to the edge of the solar system, where the aliens attempted to activate their faster-than-light drives. "Not today," Captain Brooks announced as her squadron moved to intercept. "Tommy, can you disrupt their jump drives?" "Already on it," Tommy replied, his enhanced mind interfacing directly with the alien systems. "Their quantum drives are offline. They're not going anywhere." The final battle took place in the cold darkness between Jupiter and Saturn. The remaining alien ships, cut off from escape, turned to make their last stand. But they were facing an enemy that had evolved beyond their understanding, humans who had turned their own scanning technology against them. Elena Rodriguez, coordinating the battle from Earth, watched as the last alien ship's defenses failed. "This is Deep Space Observatory to all units. Alien fleet is neutralized. Repeat, all alien vessels are disabled or destroyed." In the aftermath, the enhanced humans faced a choice. They could simply celebrate their victory and return to their lives, or they could send a message to whoever else might be watching from the darkness between stars. The message they sent was simple, broadcast on frequencies that would reach every corner of the galaxy. "This is Earth. We are humanity. We are no longer the species you studied. We have evolved. We have united. We have grown strong. To those who come in peace, you will find friends. To those who come with conquest in mind, you will find fire and fury beyond your imagination. Choose wisely." Tommy Mitchell, now 18 and the most powerful electronic intelligence in human history, ensured that the message would reach every technological civilization within 1,000 light years. "Let them know," he said to Alana as they watched. "The signal propagate across space that Earth's children have awakened and we are not going back to sleep." The alien scanning technology had been meant to map human weaknesses. Instead, it had awakened human potential. The species that had once been considered easy prey had become something that burned with the fire of determination, the fury of the threatened, and the unbreakable will of those who refused to surrender their world. In the depths of space, other civilizations received the message and began reassessing their own plans for Earth. The third planet from an unremarkable star had become something unexpected, a warning to the galaxy that humanity had arrived and they were not to be underestimated. The fire in human eyes now burned bright enough to be seen across the cosmos, and the galaxy would never be the same.